All right. Hey everyone, this is Dave out from behind the camera with another one of our discussions with John. First of all, today is October 22nd, but happy Halloween. We are coming off of a full moon this past weekend, and so John has finally got his hair gone back in. You know, as we were talking about, one of the things that we really do enjoy is we enjoy Halloween, we enjoy fall, stuff like that. John Falstrom, if you did not know, that is the father of black metal. If you follow him on Facebook, we did have a rare sighting. I had a photograph of the father of black metal. In fact, I think what I'm going to do for this video, you'll probably have already seen it, is the father of black metal will be on the YouTube screen, so you will see
and that. The father of black metal came out of the song Midnight, right?
Right.
Into the Night.
Yeah, Into the Night.
And some say, folklore has it that was the first black metal song because of the lyrics, and they're about Draculas and stuff like that.
Vampires that you can't see.
Right. So that's the folklore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't know for sure, but
yeah. So in addition, so let's real quick, before we get into our other topics, we'll talk about Halloween, and we talk about Dracula and vampires.
Oh yeah.
One of the things for me, and I don't know about you, I am a huge fan of the old Universal monster movies. So I'm used to seeing Bela Lugosi as Dracula, and Lon Chaney Jr. as the Wolfman, and we've had.
Well, wait a minute. Stop with the Lon Chaney Jr. Me and Dave. I taught Dave's great son Derek for years. Came to me when he was like second grade or first grade. Mm-hmm. Great guy, and we used to write songs. And in October of one year, we wrote a classic Halloween song. Music, words, lyrics. I think it was a three-piece.
It was a trilogy.
It was a trilogy.
Yeah.
Not the trilogy of horrors. Well, it was, because trilogy of terror or horrors. But it was about Larry Talbot. Now, Dave, tell the people who Larry Talbot is.
So Larry Talbot, if you did not know who he was, that's the character. That's the man who Lon Chaney portrays in the movies, who becomes the Wolfman. And John never knew that.
I never knew that.
John never knew that. So, but we did have some fun creating some stories around the full moon and the Wolfman, and we had a couple of laughs. We scared the kids, one night. But we had this really cool song, which we're gonna come come back to, because I do have to mention, also Boris Karloff was Frankenstein. So those movies they're a lot of fun. In fact. This coming week before Halloween, I will be watching the movies on DVD. I have them. I just love that kind of stuff. Right. And so fall's our favorite season. But one of the things that we want to talk about was just kind of putting your stamp on it was one of the things that I wanted to talk about. And speaking of stamps, one of the things, John's signature EADG 4. So fresh off the press, new caps.
Yeah, and
which you can check out the EADG4.com website.
Yeah, they're available, and they're wonderful. I got to give a shout out to my buddy Little Johnny Moore for taking over my merchandise, and he's spectacular.
Right. So these are new. They're really nice. Yes. They're adjustable in the back, made in the USA.
100% cotton.
100% cotton.
Beautiful, gorgeous stuff.
Really nice embroidering on these. Yeah. So if you want,
I gave it to Dave as a Halloween present. We exchange Halloween gifts. By the way.
Yeah. I don't trick or treat. I just get swag.
Yes. Yeah.
So
we exchange gifts on Halloween.
Right. So anyways, so one of the things that I want to talk about was putting your name on it. I was thinking about this, and coming off of the session that we just recorded, which was on chord arpeggios, John touched on in the very last one about it's great if you can learn to play note for note, but you got to go beyond that, and you got to play your own style. So I want to talk about putting your name on it. One of the things is taking music and making it your own. And it comes in different aspects, right?
Definitely.
Okay. And so one of the things was my son has his bass guitar that he played,
and we named him.
It's an Ibanez.
It's an Ibanez
EB400.
Great bass. So I'm looking at it, and a name just popped in my head, and
it's Redman.
Don't know why. It's got a little reddish in it. Maybe
it's like a reddish. It's a reddish brown, and really, the color of it looks like your typical, stereotypical skin tone of an old Indian guy that's been out in the sun for way too long. And so we just named him Redman, and which just is kind of cool. We put our name on it. This one right here, this is the obviously you've seen the tele bass, but it has a name.
Yeah, this is one of my. Like I said, I had a Telecaster in '77. My first one. Unfortunately, I don't have anymore. I love the telly. I did so much of this learning that I'm showing you for the first time on a telly. And this bass is a 72 Telecaster, and I named him, I don't know how these names, the Blonde Bomber.
Right.
It's just a killer. To me, it's killer bass. The Blonde Bomber.
Right. And you have another, you have a Fender, is it the P that's the Cherry Bomb?
Cherry Bomb is P. He's a cherry red, and I just said Cherry Bomb, and I love 4th of July. See, I'm a big holiday guy, and 4th of July is a Cherry Bomb, and I got
Gibby back here. That's another bass that we put a name on there. Another friend of ours, actually one of John's former students, a guy named Mike Denny. He's got his basses. I know one of them's named Marilyn. He names them. He's got I don't remember the name of the other one.
Of course.
But putting your own stamp on it.
Right.
So you know what? If you haven't done it before, think about naming your bass.
Yeah, it's a great,
start there. You know, it's a great way of kind of like making the music and what you do. Part of your own
personal
own
stamp,
your own thing. Yeah,
yeah. You gotta have that.
Right.
You have to have something original. What do you bring to the dance?
Right.
What do you bring into the dance?
Right.
Okay.
So again, coming off of the chord arpeggios, you're learning your notes. You're working with the chords. Start with those 3 notes. Create stuff. Now, well, we talked about the trilogy that was created. This song, and my son still has it. I came right from work to film this today. Otherwise, I would have grabbed his notebook. But we still have all the notes and everything that we had written down. The lyrics were the notes. So there's really no words. But what we did was we made
there's scenarios.
There's a scenario.
Yeah, it's a scenario.
Right.
So there's not, like I said. Okay, the Wolfman appears in Beecher, Illinois.
Right.
Let's write some music that represents that.
Right.
And we would.
Right. And so what we did though is they made music, and the interesting thing was that this whole trilogy came out of when Derek was taking lessons. We kept trying different techniques as he was young at the time, trying to learn to play, and he would learn some songs, and some, we were having some good time with some of the the 60s and stuff like that, doing some things. Drag City was one we did, and then they decided to start. He was not really wanting to study the book because he had the EADG 4 Theory textbook.
Very young. He was like in what, 5th grade, 4th grade?
Something like that. He was pretty young.
Yeah.
And so it was a little bit too over his head to grasp some of the concepts. Right. And so John decided, hey, you know what? Why don't we create our own music?
Right.
Absolutely. And so we did that.
Yeah.
And so it was really interesting because John to this day says those are some of the best teaching moments in his life because of the thematic content of the song.
Correct. It was, and like I said, I love Halloween. I love the eeriness about it, the excitement, and Derek loved it too. And of course Dave was there. He taught me, that's where I learned about Larry Telbert. I said, Dave goes, how about Larry Telbert? I said, who's Larry Telbert? And Dave, and that's a great breakthrough. And so we did write that song around Larry Telbert because Dave gave me that name, and I said, let's go with that because that's new for me, and I love the Wolfman. But again, it was writing around themes, scenarios, and the music would reflect. We would write music, or I would show Derek, and he would give me a yes or no. Trust me, that's how I am with my songs. I would say, here's it. Derek, you like that? Nah. Okay, let's try this. So that's where Derek got to play a big role in this too, and he would write some of the lyrics, or the scenarios. Okay, Derek, here's what's happening. Larry Telbert's coming. There's been a sighting.
Right. So a quick run in the cornfields.
How do you feel about that? And then so we would write something like that. So it's Derek is getting a lot of what music's all about, even though he's playing. He's learning what it's about to be an original. Put your original stamp on, like Dave says.
Right. Right. And I remember we used the key of E minor.
Yeah, of course. E minor is.
So we really only had one sharp to worry about.
Right.
Which was nice.
That's right.
But we're learning the notes at the time.
Oh, big time.
And doing all that stuff. But we had a lot of fun with that. But again, we talk about putting your stamp on it. That was one of the things that we did. We was like, this was like Derek's song. This was Derek and John's song together.
Yes.
And one of the interesting things is that I want to encourage you guys to do too is when you're practicing and when we're working on music and stuff like that. Create your own stuff, and and one of the things I taught when I was talking to John on the phone earlier in the week, I said, is not all music needs to be for public, like for everybody.
Right.
Like the songs, like the trilogy is actually more. They're private songs.
Correct.
Because if Derek was here right now and they were to sit down and play the song and we didn't explain the scenario to you,
right,
you'd think, okay, this kind of sounds creepy, Black Sabbath-y, whatever.
Right.
but it was very private for them. And
Right.
you can do that too, like, but you're creating it, making it your own self, and it's like, you know, it's a great way to expand your musical knowledge, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, your imagination.
Yeah,
You know?
and you even said let your imagination go.
Yes.
When you're playing.
You gotta work. You gotta. Don't just come up with work. Try and get something that you like, that fits the scenario in your head, and try and paint an image with the music, like Beethoven did and everything before vocals. You know,
Right.
they were painting images. They wanted to create images with the music.
Right. You know, and you know, and it helps to developing your own style too.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because, you know, maybe for some reason that you decide when you're playing, if you create something that you know, we've got this whole fretboard to work with. And, you know, maybe you decide for some reason that your playing style, one of your songs, you're just going to be working on the top strings. You know, you're going to be working in the octaves. You're going to be, you're not even going to be hitting the lower strings. You may decide that you want to be a little more trebly, a little higher
Absolutely.
pitched. So, or you may decide that, you know, we talked about the double dots. Maybe you decide, you know, it's like from here we're going to go repeat on up
Right.
the neck, up the neck.
Right. Explore the whole neck, basically, Dave. Yeah, explore. Don't just stay, unless you don't want to.
Yeah.
Again-
And then what if you decide to go out on a gig and that's where you end up playing the notes at? And your band's okay with it? Have fun with it.
Right,
That's
exactly.
putting your own thing on it. You
Right.
know, the original song may be playing low. Maybe you decide to do something different.
Right.
Or maybe you're going to do chord inversions. You're still lending to the song, but you're putting your own thing on it because, like, maybe you're like, oh, I'm really feeling like I want to do this. You're still following the framework and the rules of music because music has rule structure.
Absolutely,
has
of course
structure.
it does.
But
The
you
theory.
but you can do that. You're
Yes.
putting your own touch on it.
Right.
You know, you're not replicating.
No.
Replicating is okay. And you know, there's a lot of people that do that too. And but if you're feeling like you want to go out and do that, that's a great way to put your own little stamp on it. You know
Okay,
what I'm saying?
again, it really comes down to what I've been saying. Again, you might disagree with this because you have other ideas of how you want to play bass.
Mhm.
This is how I do it, and I've been very happy and very enjoying it, and I'm still doing it 43 years later, full time. Why? To me, if you don't kind of like do this and learn your notes and these quarter arpeggios and the modes, you're kind of limiting yourself. Unless you get fortunate enough to be in a great band where you get a record contract, but that's like winning the lottery. That's like winning a $50 million lottery. So this will make you the greatest bass player you can be. This is to put the odds heavily in your favor to be able to play live in bands, in churches, theater, lessons, whatever you want to do.
Right.
If you don't want to do it, that's fine. Okay? That's your choice. But I believe this is the only way to fly. If you're going to be an independent musician, trust me, I would love to have been in. I've been in great bands. We never. We break up after 5, 6 years, 7 years. Original bands. It just wasn't in the stars. So it's like I realized I have to be an independent because I know I love playing bass and I love music. You can't speak for the other guys in your band. So that's how I became an independent bassist because I never quit the bands. They would break up, okay? And I was kind of like always going down with the ship. So I said, well, I'm just going to become the best bass player. I gave the best chance of doing music full time. And this is, again, all part of the package. You do it your way, but I think this is, without a doubt, the best way to become the best you can be.
Right.
Dave?
Right. And what John says is, of course, you have to take this too. That's John's opinion.
Right.
So everybody, people can
Sure.
agree to disagree,
Right.
or whatever. But again, John, we talk about a lot of interesting points though. But we certainly want to make sure that we're playing the bass. We're working on our music. We're having fun. And even if if you said you don't want to be in a band,
Right.
you still want to be the best bass player you can be, even if you're playing at home with the radio.
And that's what I did when I was in a band. I would be playing with the radio, with records, doing scales, chords, reading.
Right.
I got very versatile. For 8 hours, 9 hours a night.
Right.
I wasn't in a band. I did my best rehearsing when I wasn't in a band. So yeah, that's a perfect point right there, Dave.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now before we go any further, I gotta give a call out again to my buddy Mike. Dave can delight the EADG 4
Yeah, you guys saw it. You saw it in the video right now. John's
Yeah.
sitting in front of it. But yeah, the light box that you saw
The
in the back.
EADG 4 light box was made by a fellow bassist good friend of mine, Mike Sider, who made this incredible EADG4 sign. It's made of metal and light bulbs and beautiful stuff. Again, Mike, thanks. It really means a lot to me, and it gives me, like I said, that original stamp, like they was talking about.
Right. Anywhere you go, like with John, you always see the EADG4 stuff. The black leather jacket. That's like all part. It's all part of the package. It's all
my
the
stamp.
signature. Well, the father of black metal is always happy in black, anyways. So.
That's still up for debate, but that's folklore that I am. It's folklore.
There's a big disclaimer because he doesn't want these guys from Denmark showing up, knocking on the door.
No. It's. I've been told that's the word on the street, but I'm not gonna claim that yet.
Right.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny. So let's digress back to, again, it's Halloween, so we wanted to, it was interesting. John had again in the Quarter Arpeggio series had alluded to doing stuff around Halloween, and we talked about wanting to do a Halloween special. So it was kind of fun because
it was a no-brainer because me and Dave Love, like I said, it was early July 8th. In fact, I said, Dave, if we do another one, when do you want to do it? And it's like, and we just spoke kind of like Halloween special. So that's why we're here.
Yeah. We put it on the calendar to do some stuff, and it was interesting. Of course, obviously we put lessons together too.
Yeah, of course.
We wanted to have some fun with Halloween.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and again, but again, this is a very serious session today with the Quarter Arpeggios. I got exactly what I wanted to get out of it, and now you get to see Dave and how important he is to EADG4.
Yeah, we work hard at trying to just put out content. We were talking about some, like, one of those things, the stamp of what the way that even with me with video and stuff like that, and we don't do anything really fancy.
No, there's no mono, there's no what
but I guess my stamp on it for today was the original. I'm sitting there watching, like, the first. If you notice in the first video, I was zooming in and stuff like that. I'm like, something. I've got this great vantage point. I'm just sitting back here. I just set the camera back and just press record and let it roll so that you guys can get almost like what I was looking at, and you can watch. It was watching John move around the net, and that's what I did to put my stamp on what I was doing for the content for you guys, to do stuff. I'm not an expert cinematographer.
But Dave's stamp is all on every EADG4 bass lesson video because it's Dave, and Dave's done every video since day one. So
all the lessons. Oh, absolutely. We're going to keep doing that stuff too.
I mean. Trust me.
And these sessions have been kind of fun. I look forward to them. Some of them are kind of therapeutic a little bit.
Yeah. Me too.
And hopefully that you guys are also getting something out of it. It's some of the things are bringing up topics to discuss, and it's anybody can put together music instruction videos, and there's a ton of them out there. And thank you for choosing to watch the videos that we produce with John's content and stuff like that. But as these started coming out, it's like we're doing this thing to kind of separate ourselves a little bit by talking about
the original. It's an original stamp.
Our own original stamp is like we are, talking about real life music issues.
Right.
What is a musician go through? What is other like challenges, because it's always, music is not always it's not always like smelling like a rose.
No.
No. And I'm sure you guys have gone through the heartbreak of being in a band and everything falls apart and stuff like that. And unfortunately, sometimes you lose friends over it and stuff like that. So
it's just a life journey. It's ups and downs, and hopefully you can survive the downs. Anyone can survive the ups. Well, maybe not if you indulge too much, but the downs are just survive them. And what I've learned to do is during the down periods of my career that's why I said I would start practicing, not even thinking I'm going to get better and better so I can get with better players. So I would practice on my own, and that's when I really got a lot of stuff done. But again, there's nothing like playing in an original band. I recommend that first. Get an original band. If you want. Again, this is what I wanted. I wanted to get into a band that was good and play. That was my goal.
Right.
And I did, and it was an original, so that was great. And it taught me a lot about doing things differently. Original.
Right.
You got to be original. I'm reading. There's no script in here. Me and Dave don't talk about what I'm going to talk about. We talk about titles. Okay, Quarter Arpeggios. First.
Yeah, I came in and I look, and there's a notepad with the titles of the videos.
Of what I'm talking about. I don't write anything out. I don't look at a screen. We don't edit anything. We don't paste. Like if I make a mistake, we've never gone back and splice or punch it in.
We're not splice. We only reshot. We reshot
my
one.
favorite word Dave said, I think one of our videos, was we're very organic.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Just like a band would be.
Yeah.
You know, hanging out.
Yeah, so you're talking about your band. Let's talk about, I want to talk about the Big Boppers.
Yeah, Big Boppers.
So, one of the things that, one of the things that John does, he's got a gig, basically like a house band at a local eating establishment.
Right, Mama Pizza. It's in Homewood, which is, well, you said it. I've done a lot of video. Melody Mart, where I teach in Homewood.
Just down the street.
Down the street, and that would be EJ4 headquarters north.
That would be. No, actually, that one would be.
Wait, what is that?
I don't know what it is. A satellite location.
East.
Northeast.
Yeah.
So,
but again, that's where we did videos in there, and the place I play at is every Friday night with the Boppers, like Dave was saying, is it's a whole, again, it's a fluke. Started with the acoustic
funny,
bass.
I always think they're a fluke. All the music comes up as a fluke. But,
all my best things have been fluke.
But the interesting thing is, about bringing your own thing and stuff like that is that he's got a revolving lineup of people that play with. Obviously you've got like your main guy. Your main guy is
my buddy Frank.
Frank and Ask. You guys have been playing together for 40 plus years.
74. Me and Frank started playing together. And we're still playing. We parted company. We played on other bands, but me and Frank have always played. Like the Big Boppers was a side project. I started in '89 with Frank. Me and Frank were in a great band called Midnight Express and Midnight from 1975 to 1981. And so me and Frank.
You guys have history.
It's good to have a guy who plays who's good, and you guys are close friends. That's a plus. If you guys out there looking, try and find someone. You can't. They're not going to come to you. Me and Frank, I saw him play. I'm going to get with this guy. He's great. He's a great guy, and we're still playing together. And it shows you. We don't hang out together. We play music together, and that's what we do.
And you teach lessons at the same place.
Yeah, we teach lessons.
But it's really interesting because like you guys are friends, but you don't always hang out.
No.
Like you said you have an unusual, not unusual. It's an interesting relationship.
Right.
We're opposites. Exactly. Yeah. And that's good because if you put the two, if they were the same together, oh my gosh, it would be bad. It'd be really bad. So, but anyways, So the Big Boppers. So John's got this rotating lineup. He's got one of his other buddies, the guy who made the swag, plays with him, right, Little Johnny.
Yeah.
That does that kind of stuff. And but now he's got like a revolving singers and stuff like that come in, so that they get to mix up some different styles and stuff like that, which is kind of cool.
It's cool. It's a good place to be, and we're kind of like me and Frank are the originators of the band. I started the band as my idea. Frank was first, and then if Frank misses a night, I'll get someone else. See, it's great to have that. Get friends with some good musicians. That, get along with people. Get along with them. If they're good, you like them, get along with them. Keep close to them, okay? And reach out. Don't wait for people to call you. Reach out.
Right.
That's what bass players are. Team players. You wouldn't be a bass player. I didn't pick up the bass to be a soloist. Okay, trust me. I picked up the bass to be in a good band and play great bass. I love bass, the traditional bass. Trust me, that's what I love.
Right.
But it evolved where I had to start doing solos. Again, to survive, and it was like it was a fluke.
Yeah, it's interesting. You want to talk about
the best things.
Here's the most unusual thing, and this is funny because this is like the ultimate. Like this is like I don't know. This is like the gold seal. Or what you talk about putting a stamp on your own. I think that since I've known you, a lot of these things have come out of like desperation more so than anything.
Yeah.
There's somebody else that I know that I work with that like they've come up with some stuff like they have a company that sells hot sauce, and their ideas and stuff have come out of boredom or desperation. So
fear.
Yeah. So it's unusual. So like the Big Boppers was doing an acoustic duo for a while. It was like for like a couple years played at a Borders on a Sunday for free. How many musicians do you know dedicated that would show up every Sunday afternoon
and Saturdays and Fridays when we wanted? We had free pass. Like I said, they didn't pay us. We worked. Frank would get a call for coffee. People started just throwing tips, but it wasn't much, but it was enough, and we'd sell some CDs. But again, it was the love of playing music.
Right.
That's bond. If you don't have the love, if you don't play, if you can't play for free, I don't know. This is me. Like I said, I was happy just to be playing and listening and keeping in shape and adventuresome.
But the interesting thing out of that is that there came 3 or 4 albums.
Yeah.
Big Bopper records,
right.
all instrumental stuff, which is unusual stuff.
You know, you do stuff like that, good things will happen. If you stay at home and wait, or you think you're good, you know, go out and do something that you think is good things usually come out of it. And you know, me and Frank have made 4 full-length LPs from that. And now it's like, you know, one of my main bands, and I play acoustic bass, and I play chords and melodies and solos, which, again, it's a fluke. I never wanted to do that.
But you put your own stamp on it, because I still am amazed every time that I watch John play. And if any of you guys are watching or in the Chicago area, you got to make it a point to come out and see when they play, because to me it's like the way that they do stuff, it just, some of it's magical. I can't even
it's great. Again, it was a great something I never saw.
Yeah, some of the stuff, it's really, sometimes when they were doing just the duo, because now you got a drummer and singer, stuff like that. When they do the duo
we still do the duo though.
I still can't believe that it's 2 instruments making the sounds that come out.
Right, a lot of great pedals. That, you know, you need the chorus, you need the reverb, you need the wah, you know, settings, and you need that stuff to make it just different contrast when you got 2 guys no singing. And again, that was a fluke. It evolved out of me needing a gig. I wanted a gig, so we played for free. And now we're playing all over, and like I said, the Borders became where people were starting to tip us. We sell CDs, so it became. I had no problem saying, "Yeah, we'll do it for free."
And the funny thing was that was like therapeutic too.
Absolutely.
Even though it was interesting, because like your favorite gig was one you never got paid for.
Right. It was my favorite.
And then what was the guy's name? The dentist.
Harry.
All right. So there's this guy named Harry.
Harry, if you're watching this,
there's this guy named Harry. Talk about putting your own stamp on things. This guy was a dentist, and he would show up at Borders every Sunday and just hang out and do his reading or whatever.
Right.
And all of a sudden he starts showing up with his little egg shaker. And he just started participating with the songs. Not obtrusive. No, he wasn't intruding or anything like that. He actually had rhythm and stuff like that. And it was kind of cool, because these guys are like, whatever, man. It's like, you know what, he's over here doing his thing. And I thought that was pretty cool.
A little shaker going on, you know what I mean?
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was great. And that's what it's all about.
Right.
You know, again, that's what it's all about. You enjoy it. You play music, enjoy it, and play. But if you're not playing, you're going to get frustrated, and you're going to lose your talent or your desire.
Yeah.
Like I said, I had no problem playing for free, because I know good things would happen, and I wanted to see what this would work, and it's worked out. You know, that's still paying your dues, but it's paying dues, but in a good way, because you're playing.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it takes to keep playing.
Yeah. And speaking of play, I'm actually. You know, I think I talked about one of the videos. I was like on a little hiatus from playing and stuff like that, and I'm getting ready to start wanting to get back to playing and stuff like that. Took a little break about that, and I will. And I got a couple things. I got a guy that worked, one of the other carpenters. He plays music, and he was like, "Hey, you want to get together and jam sometime?" I'm like, "Yeah, that might work." Yeah. And then also with one of his lineups with the Big Boppers is this lady Belinda Wilkie, who I used to see her at jam nights. We'd go out and play, and I got a chance to play with her a couple times. So she's singing and playing with them, and so that got me all excited. Yeah. And so maybe someday I'll get a chance to sit in and play a few songs with them, which I think that would be a lot of fun. I would enjoy that. Yeah. So
it's a journey. That's again, Dave's saying, like, it's unbelievable stuff happens if you keep with it. It's a journey.
Yeah.
You know
so just one of the things I guess we're talking about this stuff, and that was interesting, was putting your stamp on it, because you guys are getting to being a little, not transparent, but you get to know who we are a little bit more and stuff like that. Right. And you know, one of the things too is while I'm thinking about it, in the comments section of the video, share some of your favorite Halloween memories. So what are some of the things? Did you name your bass? What's your name of it?
Sure.
Different kinds of things like that. What do you do to put your own stamp on things? That kind of stuff. You playing in a band, whatever. Just let us know, because the comments get read. It's a great way to interact. And one of the cool things is building community with people. It's kind of an interesting thing, because obviously it's difficult when you're watching us on a screen, but we are like actual real people.
Yeah, we're
and we talk about this. One of the things we talk about in these sessions is like real issues.
Yeah, and
real stuff.
I've always been like I said, I've been teaching since '84 full time, and I've been playing full time since about '75. So I'm but I've stayed in Illinois area, south suburbs, my whole life.
Right.
And I've got to know so many great people, and again, that's why we're just people, people persons. Yeah. And I love the little, you get close to, when you jam together, you get to know each other, and it becomes a bonding, a friendship. And just so you know, I'm that way. You know what I mean?
Right.
But when I give lessons on this, I want you to learn what is going on, and I do my best, and I get into a zone. I call it. I got to get into a zone. I got to be, because I've been in a zone. It's and that's why I go right to it, and I love this. You know, like I said, to teach, show people who don't. Because I remember learning stuff on my own, and it would make my week or month if I discovered one little thing that made me a better bass player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now what drives you is when you get comments of somebody who's a watcher says, John Falstrom's my teacher.
Right. And, you know, like I said, I'm proud of that, and that's what I'm hoping, you know, that's what I'm going for, because I don't see me, this is going to be me probably forever until I, you know, go away.
So you go away, yeah. You're just going to keep teaching, passing knowledge along.
It's just, you know, you do something so long, you just stay with it, and hopefully you can pass it on now to the younger generation. I'm hoping I can pass it on to the young guns or people my age or a little younger, and learn more, become a great bass player.
Yeah.
You can become a great bass player, trust me.
Yep.
But you got to want it, and in my opinion, you got to know certain things. Because I did it the other way too, and I kept hitting brick walls, and it wasn't easy for me either. I just stayed focused. You know, again, take it with a grain of salt. It's what you want, though.
Right.
Hope you get something out of this. I'm sure you will.
Right.
But usually, like I said, take what you like, throw out the rest. You know what I mean? But anyways, for this Halloween special, me and Dave are again saying we're great Halloween fans and we enjoy it. And me and Derek, his son, wrote this classic trilogy that we're talking about, and I'll remember it the rest of my life because it was a ball. And
yeah,
I watching, and Dave's little daughter was there too, Rebecca.
Yeah.
And I remember their eyes. We were talking about Larry, and their eyes became silver dollars when I knocked.
No, really?
And Rebecca screamed out. It's again, that's emotion. It was fun. It was fun. It was all in fun. Dave was there, and it's great. And that's why we decided to do this session.
Yeah.
Today.
So. Yeah. So.